I think one of the common misconceptions about an INTJ is rebellion. Some people believe that INTJs love to rebel because it's in our nature. The truth is, yes, we do like to rebel, but it's not for the same reason why most articles you read online or most stereotypes tend to believe. INTJ has mama extroverted thinking. So we like some type of structure. So rules in place that make sense, it's actually something that we like. Yes, there is some truth that INTJs like to break the rules more than other types, but it's not for the reason that other types do it. And the funny thing is, there's all these theories about why we don't like rules and why we break them, such as being edgy. And the sad reality that INTJs have to live with is that we're edgy just for breathing. The moment we were born, we were edgy. We don't have to try to be edgy. So when it comes down to edginess, it's not necessarily one of our primary reasons. It might be when you're younger, but we'll leave all that edgy type to the FI DOMs. And here's an anecdotal story that I'm sure every single INTJ have experienced once or multiple times in their lives. I've been in so many situations in my life where I'm in a room full of people and there's a bunch of side conversations happening. Everyone's in their own little group. They're having their own discussion. There's no one huge theme or one huge conversation that's going on. And I surround myself with people that I'm comfortable with, so I'm candid with them. I go,
Mecca, NI.
NI everywhere. And then maybe like midway through that conversation, I would notice that the entire room goes silent. And I look around and every single's eyes and ears are on me. Because if anything, Papa introverted intuition is interesting. And the thing is, when I get all those eyes on me, I feel uncomfortable because I know what's going on. Everyone is judging what I'm saying. There are people that take what I'm saying and they're interested in it because it's a perspective they've never heard about. And then there are other types that I know are listening to me and just thinking, what the hell is he talking about? And then there are the other types who are laughing because they think I'm just overthinking a simple topic, but here I am rambling on about something that apparently doesn't relate to them, but to me, it does. And the thing is, for people who don't understand my thought process or don't know how I got to that conversation or got to that result or that epiphany or that conclusion, they think I'm crazy. And when it comes down to being crazy, I own my craziness. So if you add a person who has crazy thoughts and owns that craziness, but is still acceptable in society, you get edginess. So again, INTJs are just naturally edgy. So we don't try, we just happen to be. And the perfect example is Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family or Beth Harmon from The Queen's Gambit. Those ladies are just doing them. And yet there's a cult following because they love their edgy attitude. They're not being edgy, they're just being an INTJ. Now let's take a step back and go back to why we break rules. The misconception comes from two different things. The first reason is the INTJ's common sense. We seek to improve whatever we're doing, either self-improvement, improving our process,
improving your family, improving your friends, improving your pets, improving
whatever project that you're working on. It's all about improvement. And sometimes when you're working on improving something, there's a rule that's in a way that's preventing you from getting to the optimal placement that you know you can be if that rule didn't exist. And in those instances, of course we're going to break the rule, but we're not doing it for the sake of breaking a rule. We actually have a goal in mind that once we break that rule, we'll eventually accomplish something that's better than what the rule has in place. The second thing is that as an INTJ, you've learned very early on that regardless of how many times you try to explain yourself, there's people out there that aren't going to listen to you or not going to understand. We're going to be misunderstood regardless. So then we're put in a situation similar to a video game where we have 3 different dialogue options. Option 1, waste your time trying to explain yourself and your theory and why you decided to do something with a 10% chance of success. Option 2, explain why the rule is dumb and they get negative loyalty or negative emotions with that faction that typically tends to be the one that implemented that rule in the first place. And option 3, which is typically the default that we go with, keep your answers short and just deal with the consequences. And the consequences being verbal abuse, ridicule, negative faction points, whatever it might be. It's still a better option than option 1 and 2. We're not going to waste our time trying to explain something to you if you have consistently proven that you're not willing to listen or you're not capable of understanding our need to do something. And here's the kicker for being an INTJ. A lot of the times, we're not even sure how to verbally express our thought process. So even if we wanted to explain it to you, we don't know how to. We're incapable of it. Wow, INTJ brain, just
Wow.
Another common theme that I notice online about INTJ being rebellious is that we're just curious people. I kind of understand their logical reasoning as to arriving at that conclusion. If INTJs are curious people, then they like to try out different approaches because it fulfills a certain need that they have. That's only half of the truth. Don't forget, INTJs have mama extroverted thinking. And what I mean by that is because we have mama, that means every thought isn't weighted the same. We're not going to test every theory out there just because we're curious. It has to have some type of validity, or we have to vet it to have some type of way to improve whatever project that we're working on. We're not going to entertain a thought just for the sake of entertaining a thought. That's a waste of time. Ain't nobody got time for that. And you know, there's a lot of dumb ideas out there, and a lot of dumb ideas come out from INTJs as well. Prime example, Elon Musk buying Twitter. One of the beauties of being an INTJ and having Papa introverted intuition is that we're able to quickly verify the validity of a thought without having to do more research. Comparing that to other types out there, it may seem as if we're being rebellious because it's a new concept out there and we're curious to try it out. No, we have went through this mental gymnastic that we're not even sure happened, but it did happen very instantly, and have considered that this new way of doing something or this new idea or concept has some type of validity and can improve whatever we're working on. And because it's a possible outcome for whatever we're working on, then this goes back to what I said earlier. If there's a rule in place that we know isn't going to hurt anyone, then we might bend it or step over it to try to figure out how to implement it, or to see whether implementing it will make it better, which goes down to breaking the rule. So it's not curiosity, it's efficiency. It always goes back to mama extroverted thinking. But I do want to address what it feels like being a younger INTJ. Some of you might not know this, but at one point in my life, I was a young INTJ. I know, shocking, right? Who would have thought? And I've done a lot of dumb shit in my life that has broken a lot of rules. You know, the combination of having Papa introverted intuition and mama extroverted thinking, that combination's going to make you feel as if there's a lot of rules in place when you're younger that's just plain dumb. As an adult, there's still a lot of rules that I had to deal with when I was younger that still doesn't make sense to me, such as going to school for 8 hours a day, having to take classes on topics that has never interested me, being restricted from going to establishments or places purely based off of my age and nothing else. And the list goes on. For you younger INTJs, you're going to rebel. I know you're going to rebel because we all go through it. And the truth is, it's kind of a rite of passage for us. INTJs, we're one of the most intelligent and capable people out there. Like, it amazes me whenever I meet another INTJ and the accomplishments that they went through and just how they got to where they are. And the thing also is that INTJs are mostly humble. So it's not necessarily bragging when you talk to them about those type of accomplishments or what they've gone through or the limit tests that they've done their entire life, because they did it because they know they're capable. And having some type of confidence to accomplish those tasks, it's very alluring. However, everyone's life is different. So if you're a younger INTJ that has never rebelled in your life or never needed to rebel because you live a perfect life, that the people around you are very supportive, that you have all the capabilities in the world, you have financial stability, a good structure for you to develop into the person you really want to be, I am very, very happy for you, because that's what every person should aspire for their childhood, or at least their children, or anyone in their life. But then for the rest of you, you know, Papa and I is gonna make you see a lot of different ways to improve systems that is somewhat in your way. And then when mama gets a hold of it, mama hears that, hey, this is what John wants to do. Mama's gonna do everything that she can to make sure that you can accomplish that or get to where you want to be. There's no such thing as barriers for INTJs when mama's around. When mama and papa are around, there's no boundaries. You can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. But don't forget, you also have baby extroverted sensing, which means that you're going to accomplish a lot of tasks in silence. You're going to do in the background. Most people aren't going to know you're doing it until after you do it. And then baby sister, baby brother comes along and likes being validated for whatever project or whatever you accomplish. So you're gonna tell certain people. And when you tell certain people, you can't be upset that they make certain judgments on you, because to them, it doesn't make sense. To them, it's rebellion. And however they labeled you, you can't really get upset at it because that's their reality. You can't change their reality, you can only change your own. And if you're a younger INTJ watching this video, Uncle John is here telling you, do what you need to do to become the best version of yourself that you want to be, or the best version of whatever project that you're working on. But there are two things that I want you to keep in mind. First, make sure you're not harming yourself. Two, make sure you're not harming anyone else. Believe it or not, even though we've never met and I'm just this personality on YouTube, I do care about you. If you're an INTJ, you are family to me. And as a person who's lived my entire life as an INTJ, I've done a lot of stupid shit in my life. I've stolen a test in Japanese class because I didn't want to study for it. I went out during curfew in the military when there was mandatory curfew. I snuck in alcohol to Coachella, this music festival in California that happens once a year.
What are you looking at? Someone playing right now.
And because I've done it, I know you're going to do it. Just be safe. That's all I ask. All right, that's all for my video. In the background, I think you hear sirens. The cops heard me making this video, so they're coming after me, I guess. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and also subscribe to the channel. I put out a lot of content when it comes down to INTJs, and eventually I'm gonna expand it to the rest of the MBTI community. This is only season 1. In season 1, you only learn about the main character. And if you're watching this video on a TV or something, there's a lot of comment with discussions about certain video topics that I have. Please join the conversation because I love creating a dialogue. I want everyone to feel like they're not alone. We are an INTJ community, and I want everyone to feel safe voicing their own opinion about whatever topic that we're discussing. We don't all have to agree with the topic or what someone says, but at least let's start talking about it. Let's grow as a Myers-Briggs type. All right, thanks everyone for watching. Bye.